Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the 55th Medical Group Change of Command. I am Senior Airman Leslie Williams, your narrator for today's event. Today you observe a change of command in which the responsibility and leadership of the 55th Medical Group pass from Colonel Christopher E. Backus to Colonel Tracy K. Bozung. We are honored to recognize the presiding officer for today's ceremony, the Commander, 55th Wing, Colonel Mark D. Howard. The change of command ceremony you're about to witness is deeply rooted in military tradition, dating back to Frederick the Great of Prussia. Throughout history, military organizations have developed flags with unique designs. If the banner still waved after the conflict, it was a sign that their side had not tasted defeat on the field of battle. Having this position of great importance, that flag was incorporated into the change of command ceremony. The organizational banner was exchanged in public for all to see, that the person who holds the flag is the unchallenged leader of the armies. The modern-day ceremony is principally symbolic, yet it still announces to all the authority of the incoming commander and the finest military tradition. Ladies and gentlemen, please stand for the arrival of the official party. The posting of the colors by the Offutt Air Force Base Honor Guard, the singing of the national anthem by Airman First Class Courtney Wyatt, and ask that you please remain standing for the invocation by Chaplain Gaida.
Present, color. Color. Halt. Present. Hunt.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we held at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say, does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the hope of the brave?
Port. Harm. colors, colors and hearts.
Please join me in the prayer if you wish. Heavenly Father, thank you for your present discharge of command for 55 Wing Medical Group Offutt Air Force Base. Today we stand a long stream of tradition and history in marking this change of command with our time and attention. We thank you for choosing leader integrity, who apply lead the mission, who motivate us in our work, and ultimately promote freedom in the world by training Air Force airmen. We humbly ask your blessing upon Colonel Christopher Backus and Colonel Tracy Bozung as they pass between the guidance of command. As it passes, strengthen them both in the task to which you have called them. Go with the Colonel Christopher Backus for his new assignment. Remain with the Colonel Tracy Bozung and her family as she leads the 55 medical group to the new height of excellence. Give us the commitment to serve our new commander well. Thank you for your never-ending love, strength, courage, and guidance, key unlocking the full potential of this outstanding 55 medical group. In your holy name we pray. Amen.
Thank you, Offutt Air Force Base Honor Guard, Airman First Class Wyatt, and Chaplain Gaida. Ladies and gentlemen, please be seated. At this time, we would like to extend a special welcome to the families of the official party. Ms. Shannon Howard, wife of our presiding officer, Colonel Mark Howard. Colonel Backus's wife, Dr. Yolanda Backus. Colonel Bozung's husband, Tom, and their son, Nathan. Colonel Bozung's father, Colonel Al Tignano, United States Air Force retired, and his wife, Jeanette. Miss Letty Otero, wife of Chief Master Sergeant Ernesto Otero, 55th Medical Group, senior enlisted leader, and their daughter, Gabriella. Additionally, we are very pleased to have numerous distinguished guests in attendance with us today. Please hold your applause until all have been introduced. The Honorable Paul Lambert, Mayor of Plattsmouth. The Honorable Rita Sanders, Nebraska State Senator, District 45. Mr. Richard Casey, Bellevue City Councilman and United States Air Force Chief Master Sergeant, retired. Chief Master Sergeant Melissa Royster, Command Chief, 55th Wing. Colonel Aaron Gray, Vice Commander, 55th Wing, and his wife, Jessica. Colonel Lee Williams, Command Surgeon, United States Strategic Command. Colonel Robert Clement, Commander, 55th Maintenance Group, and his wife, Lori. Colonel Matthew Hensley, Commander, 55th Communications Group, and his wife, Missy. Colonel Patrick Kalizik, Commander, 55th Mission Support Group. Colonel Jan-June Zhang, Chief of Aerospace, 55th Medical Group. Colonel Nicholas Duval, Commander, 55th Dental Squadron. Colonel Charles Mahakian, Commander, Operational Medical Readiness Squadron. Mr. Gary Chesley, Director, 55th Civil Engineering Squadron. Colonel Julie Ostran, United States Air Force retired, former 55th Medical Group Commander, and her husband, John. Chief Master Sergeant Michael Parente, United States Air Force retired, past International President of the Air Force Sergeants Association, and former 55th Wing Command Chief. Dr. Linda Ford, Co-Commander, 55th Medical Group, and her guest, Ms. Blackwell. Ms. Kathy Williams, representing the Offutt Advisory Council. We would also like to extend a warm welcome to all commanders, chiefs, first sergeants, friends, civilian leaders, and the men and women of Team Offutt that are joining us today. Now it is my honor to present to you our presiding officer, Colonel Mark Howard, Commander, 55th Wing.
All right, thank you, sir. Good afternoon, everybody. Thank you for joining us today. All right. Listen, I got 4 pages of distinguished visitors that you already announced. So I'm just going to skip all that if that's all right with everybody. You're all distinguished. We love you all. Thank you guys so much for being here. It means a lot to the Med Group family, man. I do have to say hi to Paul Lambert, my good friend, and Senator Sanders, my other good friend. I appreciate you guys being here. This means a lot. And also Kathy Williams from the Offutt Advisory Council. Really means a lot that you guys make the time to be here. And our co-commander for the Med Group. How long have you been a co-commander, Linda?
Long time.
Dr. Ford's been the co-commander for quite a while. And we just appreciate all of you so very much. You're a big part of Team Offutt and a big part of why our Med Group runs so well in the way that it does. You know who never gets thanked, though, is the sound guy. So, Lieutenant, thank you very much, sir. Sorry for yelling about you yesterday about the Air Force song. We're going to get it right today, man. And we're going to say, give 'em, because the words changed, the gun. Give 'em the gun with the fist bumps. You got that in the announcement, too, right? Okay, good. Just want to make sure we got that. And the camera guy. JB, what's up, my friend? Kevin, how's it going, man? PA never gets any love. Thank you guys for doing this job. Okay. Enough of the goofiness. Listen, MOBA. Did you guys know his call sign is MOBA? Anyways, Colonel Backus. MOBA, my good friend, my neighbor, confidant. I'd come home, and 9 times out of 10, he'd be on his porch reading his iPad. Or maybe he was talking to Yolanda on the iPad. I don't really know if that was true or not. But I'd come home, and we'd vent a little bit and, have commiserations out on there. He's been my neighbor for the past 2 years. And, brother, I'm going to miss you. I'm going to miss our talks. We've been through some stuff together, too. So, man, this means a lot that I get to do this for you. And here's some highlights of the past 2 years, right? Everybody wants to forget that we went through a pandemic, but I have to bring it up just one time for the Med Group's sake. Look, you got us through COVID. So, and you did it with style. You were fighting it every step of the way, too. You're like, we don't need to do this. We don't need to do that. And man, did I ever appreciate that, because you gave us some sanity to an insane situation, brother. And it meant a lot. So listen, you also transitioned us to the Defense Health Agency. No easy task, right? And there's a whole lot more to come with that transition. But you started the transition, and it's DHA is an Army-based system, right? And the Air Force way of doing business is quite a bit different since 1947, and so we've done things a little bit different, and so we're gonna figure it out as we go, but we'll be okay. You minimize the impact of $1.5 billion budget decrease. You transitioned the MHS Genesis. If you don't know what MHS Genesis is, please don't ask. You don't want to know. That was a big headache as well. The Med Group moved from number 11 in military expense and performance reporting health index to number 1 in April 2023. Boom. That's nice. Despite the changes, transitions, global pandemic, you ensured the quality and care of tens of thousands of people. We're talking like 50,000 people in this local area. We are beyond grateful, and that is an understatement for all you've done. You've been rock solid the whole way. Listen, our Med Group prepares our airmen for the fight. Our medical professionals demonstrate the highest levels of professionalism, standards, commitment to their mission. This is what scares our adversaries, and they wish they had care like we do out in China, because they don't. You got our backs, and we know it. So thank you for caring for our Warhawks, and it's nothing short of amazing. Welcome, Colonel Tracy. Tic-Tac, not to be confused with Tick-Tock. We don't like Tick-Tock none, but we like Tic-Tac a lot. Bozung. Now check this out. If you don't know how to pronounce her name, Tom, her husband, taught me how to. So you got the Bose headset, yeah? It's Bozung. So Bozung. It doesn't look like Bozung, but it is. It's Bozung when it's spelled. Okay. Air Force Academy grad. We won't hold that against you. Go OTS. Board certified in aerospace medicine and family medicine, and was a senior physician on a joint provincial reconstruction team. That's a big deal for if anyone's served out in Iraq or in Afghanistan. You served during Operation Enduring Freedom. Glad to have you as part of our team. You were previously the command surgeon of 16th Air Force, which is our numbered Air Force out in San Antonio, and now we are so glad that you are part of our team here at Offutt. As you say, command is your jam. So I'm looking forward to jamming with you. It's going to be great. MOBA, we are so thankful for your time here. Congratulations on a successful time in command. Well done, faithful servant. Tic-tac. Let's get these war fighters ready. What do you say? All right.
Thank you, Colonel Howard. Ladies and gentlemen, please stand as Colonel Howard presents Colonel Christopher Backus with the Legion of Merit Medal.
Publish yours.
Attention to orders. Citation to accompany the award of the Legion of Merit, 1st Oak Leaf Cluster to Colonel Christopher E. Backus for exceptionally meritorious conduct in the performance of outstanding services, 5 July 2021 to 7 July 2023. Colonel Christopher E. Backus distinguished himself by exceptionally meritorious conduct and the performance of outstanding service to the United States as Commander, 55th Medical Group, 55th Wing, Offutt Air Force Base, Nebraska. During this period, his exemplary ability, diligence, and devotion to duty was instrumental to the stand-up of the 55th Wing as Air Combat Command only intelligence, surveillance, and reconnaissance lead wing, serving as the first lead wing surgeon to provide medical response planning and preventative services. Colonel Backus deployed with the lead wing to exercise Resolute Hunter and bridge senior leader transitions for the commander and vice commander. He brought these experiences to Air Combat Command and refined written tactics, techniques, and procedures for medical support of Air Force. Force generation, moreover, Colonel Backus cemented readiness for Air Force Combat Command's largest installation by focusing on patient safety, enabling 6,600 patient safety reports and capturing Air Force Best Ambulatory Clinic Patient Safety Program for 2021. He steered a national disaster medical system pilot plan and test concept with 25 organizations to guard 12 federal emergency management agency regions, resulting in the choice of the Omaha metropolitan area as United States lead program. Simultaneously, he helmed Air Combat Command's largest personnel reliability assurance program, leading 9 clinics to perform 7,000 visits for this highly monitored population. Colonel Backus oversaw a $35 million annual budget, supervising an improvement to outside insurance process that utilized patient check-in kiosks to gather required information, increasing collections by 700%. In addition, he transitioned the unit out of coronavirus-19, focused operations including same-day viral screenings, enabling freedom of movement for high-value assets such as the National Airborne Operations Center. Finally, he successfully led the handover of authority, direction, and control to the Defense Health Agency. The superior initiative, outstanding leadership, and personal endeavor displayed by Colonel Backus reflect great credit upon himself and the United States Air Force. Thank you, Colonel Howard. Ladies and gentlemen, please take your seats. It is my honor to introduce to you the commander of the 55th Medical Group, Colonel Christopher E. Backus.
Colonel Howard, I can't follow that. I should just stop. I'm going to go slow because I don't want to forget anything. I've been editing this as I'm going because I see more people in the audience than I realized. But thank you all for attending the change of command ceremony. Most of my words will be thank you. So if this part goes for 5 minutes and you begin to despair, know that there isn't a part 2. First, thanks to God. If Dr. Strange looked at 14 million alternative futures and was asked in how many I was successful, I think he'd say 1. I owe that success to my Creator. Second, thank you to my family. Dr. Yolanda Backus has stuck by me through medical school, residency, flight medicine, more pilot training, and 4 command tours. She's raised our son with me, often serving far away. She's my secret weapon, and I acknowledge that she's the key to my success. Thank you to Grandma, Dora McNish, who's home with my son right now. I hope they're watching on Facebook Live, but I don't know for sure. I know she's always there for him and for our family. Thank you to Colin, my son, who represents my why to me. He's a visual and real symbol of the reason I work to defend my nation, as well as a successful and admirable young man. Thank you to my Omaha family. Dr. Linda Ford is my co-commander. She's a generous community leader, an exemplary physician leader, and truly an adopted family member. Or I suppose I'm the adopted one, but... Julie Ostrand preceded me in leading this group and welcomed me into the community family as they transition. Nebraska Senator Rita Sanders adopted me and gave me a very real example of our political representatives being real human beings who really sacrifice a lot to give to their communities. I didn't mention two men with their spouses because I want to thank them individually for being good friends and mentors. Men need examples. John Ostrand is an example of gracious friendship. He's the kind of guy who really would give you the shirt off his back. It would make you forget that he had to give something up because he didn't want you to worry about it. Rick Sanders is a community leader and humble example of the best kind of male mentor. Both are role models for me, and I'll come back to our memories as I try to be a better leader, friend, and father. Beverly Blackwell is a humble sweet and a good friend who makes the best brownies. I've enjoyed spending time with our Friday night group. We have community leaders so generous to our military base. I can't name all of them, and I know I'm going to forget names during this, so please, if I do, just understand I'm nervous. But a few have been particularly generous with their time and support of our medical group, so I would like to acknowledge Mayor Paul Lambert of Plattsmouth, Chancellor Gold, Kelly Vaughn, Dr. Jeff Harrison, and Dr. Kim Jerzinka with UNMC, and then Dr. Eileen Kingston of the Omaha VA. Thank you to my work family. Colonel K.T. Thompson has departed, but for 2 years she was my boss, and I can't think of a better example of leadership. Colonel Chili Howard, I can't say as good as you did. You just really knocked that out of the park. But he's taken the guide on and is the absolute right leader for the Warhawks. He's been part of Warhawk Nation for decades, and I believe he will lead us to scare China. His wife Shannon, sons Brandon and Cade, are amazing neighbors, and I wish I could live on the row for many more years. Chief Royster, you're an amazing command chief. Chief Tuman was a small badge medical group type, and the fact that you came in and just immediately filled his shoes are just as awesome. I'm so glad to have gotten a chance to work with you. My fellow commanders and neighbors. First round, John and Nan Latecki from the OG, Jason and Nicole Cooley from the MSG, Fletch and Christy from the comm group, and then our colleagues who will carry the wing into the next few years. Matt and Missy Hensley of the comm group. Kyle, I don't know why they used the wrong name for you. Kyle Clement and Lori, thanks for being here. Bullinger and Rachel of the OG, and Patrick leading the MSG for over 24 hours now. You're an old hat. I didn't mention Colonel Gray, but thank you for being here. I appreciate you guys. I didn't get to be as geographically close to Mo, but I'm glad I got to lead with her too. We all were siblings, working together to enable an incredible component of national defense, and I'll always be proud and grateful to have stood with you. My SEL, Chief Otero, is my wingman in the truest sense. He's a great American who wakes up every day working his hardest to defend our nation and care for our airmen. He inspires me. Thanks to his family for coming out. It means a lot. Master Sergeant Glover, my shirt, is the other member of our triad, and together we get it done for our mighty medics. My squadron commanders, Colonel Tim McDowell, Colonel Solo Mahakian, Colonel Dragon Slayer Warden, Colonel Mike Webb, Colonel Nick Duvall, Colonel Roach, and Colonel Bogey. General Goldfein said the squadron was the heart of the Air Force, and I believe that. I've tried to empower you, and I'm thankful for how you've run with it. My 3 letters. I'm going to start with Colonel Shudo because I see the Shudo family sitting there, and I want to acknowledge them as part of my family too. Colonel Sherman, Colonel Dion, Colonel Sheely, Colonel Carlson, Colonel Wookman, Major Cagle. You ensure ready, reliable care, and I appreciate it. Some amazing mission partners. They're not all here, but Colonel Wendy Scorsha, Colonel Brad Stebbins, and Colonel Milton Lamont. Getting to work with and support your troops meant a lot to me. I can't name every member of my team, and I feel that. but Senior Master Sergeant Campbell, Senior Master Sergeant Neely Volsey, Senior Master Sergeant Whiting, Master Sergeant Holcomb, Master Sergeant Dumankas, Master Sergeant Uggan, Master Sergeant Schaefer, Master Sergeant McCoy, Master Sergeant Hall, Mr. Gyron, Mrs. Michelle Davidson, Mr. Dart, Ms. Tina Torre, Ms. Kelsey Dumas, Ms. Samantha Anderson, Mrs. Ali Contreras. These names have to represent the hundreds I wish I could list. Thank you to those who made this event possible. Captain Telfer, Lieutenant Ortiz, and Tech Sergeant Watlington took the lead, but it takes a wing to make an event this size happen. So thanks to Protocol led by Ski, PA led by Ryan Hansen, and their awesome unsung photographers, Airman Wyant for the National Anthem, Senior Airman Williams for narrating, Tech Sergeant Reyes our proffer, Sergeant Davalos and our escorts, Senior Airman Luciano Velez and our greeters, Staff Sergeant Campbell and our ushers. Thank you to Lieutenant Colonel Black and all those mighty medics in our formation. Don't they look sharp? Thank you to the Color Guard, Senior Airman Thigpen, Senior Airman Zimri Asuncion, one of the Asuncion, A1C Rabes, and Senior Airman Licon. Thank you, Warhawks. Anyone who's watched the news in the past 2 years knows how important you are to our national defense. Much of what you do is classified, so you're under-recognized, but that doesn't lessen your motivation, enthusiasm, or professionalism. I won't name names, but each of you has made an impact on me. Especially thank you to the mighty medics. For each of us, our health is the most important thing, and you do your best to improve, sustain, and support our health. By doing this, you build our readiness. Changes command are hard. You spent 2 years loving a unit, doing your best for the unit, and it's tough. The only thing that makes this day tolerable is when you get to hand it off to somebody that you know will do an amazing job. I've known Colonel Bozung for a number of years. We've been in asthma together. I've watched her, I'll just say, kick tail there. She's a force of nature, and I think she's going to do that same thing here. Thank you to her family for coming out. That support is going to mean a lot to her for the next 2 years. So seeing you sitting there makes me know that she's got that support. Thank you. The only reason I can hand this off is I know I'm putting it in good hands. Mighty medics, this nation is stronger for your work. You face off against China, and you do it by caring for the Warhawks and their families, STRATCOM and their families. What you do is important, and I want you to know I see you. I charge you to continue. Push hard every day to be the best. You are a competitive edge, so let's get to it.
Thank you, Colonel Backus. And now, the men and women of the 55th Medical Group will honor Colonel Backus with a final salute.
Attention! Present. Halt! Order. Halt!
Ladies and gentlemen, please stand for the change of command. Attention to orders. Under the provisions of Department of the Air Force Instruction 51-509 and in accordance with Special Order number G-23-012, dated 23 May 2023, Colonel Tracy K. Bozung is appointed Commander, 55th Medical Group, succeeding Colonel Christopher E. Backus, effective 7 July 2023, by order of Colonel Mark D. Howard, Commander, 55th Wing, Offutt Air Force Base, Nebraska.
Sir, I see command.
Ladies and gentlemen, please be seated. It is my pleasure to introduce to you the commander of the 55th Medical Group, Colonel Tracy K. Bozung.
All right. Whew. Problem with all my group commanders, all my fellow group commanders are like 6 and change, and I'm all like, hi, I'm Tic Tac. Anyway, so thank you for the warm welcome. Thank you to all the commanders, the SELs, the community leaders who have come to celebrate with the 55th today. A special thanks to my co-commander, Dr. Ford over there, and Nebraska State Senator Rita Sanders, who I just met last night, and it's just a pleasure to be working with you both. First off, my family and I want to thank those who have helped put this magnificent event together today. So the Projo team, Lieutenant Ortiz back there, Captain Telfer, Sergeant Wadlington, as well as Lieutenant Colonel Black for leading the formation, and all those mighty medics out there in that formation that are looking sharp, and to all those who work backstage to really help put this production together. Second, Colonel Howard, thank you, sir, for the opportunity. It really is my honor and pleasure and privilege to serve. Shannon, all the rest of my newly found friends and group commanders and spouses down the row, we really appreciate the generous welcome to the Warhawk family. And Tom and I look absolutely forward to working with all of you and having a couple of beverages on the patios and things like that. Chris, I am thrilled to be following in your footsteps. I always said, it's easy if you come after a commander like Chris, because everything's done and rocking. Your drive and your compassion really ensured the success of the Med Group, and I will build on that legacy that you helped create. Best of luck to you in your new adventure. I would say you'd need skill, or I'd say good luck, but you don't need luck because you got all the skill you need, brother, and you're just going to thrive in your next assignment. Chief, Shirt, Master Sergeant, Demankus, Michelle, my squadron commanders in 3 letters, most of you I haven't even met yet, but I absolutely look forward to working, getting to know each and every one of you and your families. To Tom and Nathan, thanks for being my unfailingly support for the last 3 command assignments. I know you are as excited as I am for this command experience. Maybe. You make me successful, and you keep me balanced. And I love you both. And 55th, just wait to see what Tom brings to this command team. A prior chief of mine, Chief Levi Robertson, had a phrase for my husband. He doesn't do easy, he does extra. So you get to be the benefactors of his proclivity for extra. So get excited, it's going to be fun. Mom and Dad, thanks for being here today with me. You taught me the keys to success. Hard work, unwavering commitment, a strong character, and taking care of others. I'm proud to be your daughter, and following in your footsteps, Dad, as an Air Force leader. Now to the mighty medics of the 55th. It is truly my honor to be your commander. Command is my passion, and I feel genuine joy in being here today and having the opportunity to shape the environment where we will accomplish the mission and where each of you grows both personally and professionally. I want you to enjoy your job like I enjoy mine. The ancient Greek philosopher Heraclitus said, "There is nothing permanent except change." I think he got that right. I recognize that we're in a time of great change. A global power competition, a pending Defense Health Agency reorganization, a pending Air Force Medical Service reorganization, the reorganization of the deployment generation modeling, and that's all on the tails of a global pandemic. Our jobs have not been easy. But the only way to grow is to change. So keep that in mind as the changes keep on piling in. But let me tell you what has not changed and what won't change. It's our sacred obligation to provide top quality medical care for our men and women who are the best on the planet and their families. That takes dedication, commitment, compassion, all of which you've already demonstrated. I challenge each of you to dare to care. Care about your patients. Care about each other. Care about our medic culture. I deliberately use that word dare because sometimes it isn't easy to care when you're overworked and overcommitted with overlapping competing priorities. The right choice is not always the easy one. And every one of you, from our total force service members to our GS and our contractors, make a difference and contribute to the legacy that we create. We will harness our relationships with each other and our civilian partners to optimize patient care and the readiness of the 55th Wing as a whole. And I realize I am the thing that is standing between you and the weekend and Chick-fil-A back there and a cake and an all-ranks party that's being hosted for First Fridays in the club in moments. So just one final thought. This is not my first trip to Offutt. Several decades ago, maybe more than several, my twin sister Casey and I were born at University of Nebraska Med Center. So therefore, literally, I have lifelong ties with Omaha. As we PCS from Omaha when I was 2, I'm quite sure I'm going to remember this trip around the Omaha territory better than I did the first time. My journey as your commander is not my journey. It is our journey. And my family and I look forward to this adventure together with you. Thank you.
Thank you, Colonel Bozung. Ladies and gentlemen, now the men and women of the 55th Medical Group will welcome Colonel Bozung with her first salute as their commander.
Crew, attention. Preset, hunt. Order, hunt.
Ladies and gentlemen, the men and women of the 55th Medical Group are proud to have served with Colonel Backus and wish him and his family good luck and Godspeed in a new assignment. We are honored to have Colonel Bozung and her family as she assumes his position as commander of the 55th Medical Group. We invite everyone to attend the reception immediately following the ceremony in the back of the venue. Please stand and join us in the singing of the Air Force song and remain standing for the departure of the official party and their families. By special request, we will do a fist pump at the line, give them the gun. Finally, we ask that everyone please remain in place until the official party and their families have departed. Ladies and gentlemen, on behalf of the commander of the 55th Wing and the men and women of the 55th Medical Group, thank you for attending our ceremony. Have a great Air Force Day.